The Discovery. The Deep Space Monitoring Station on Europa wasn't known for excitement. Most days, Lieutenant Marcus Wong stared at endless streams of data, searching for anything unusual in the vast emptiness between the stars. But on this particular morning in 2247, his console lit up with an alert that would change humanity's place in the galaxy. "Director Hayes," Marcus called, his voice trembling slightly. "You need to see this." The station's director, Dr. Elena Hayes, walked briskly to his station. Her cybernetic eye whirred as it focused on the display. The signal was weak but distinct, a repeating pattern that could only be artificial in origin. More importantly, it matched Earth military protocols from over a century ago. Within hours, the Discovery reached Earth's Defense Command. Commander Sarah Chen stood before the hastily assembled council, her decorated uniform reflecting the harsh lighting of the emergency chamber. "The signal originates from the Carina Nebula," she reported, approximately 7,600 light-years from Earth. "Our analysis confirms it's from military outpost Sigma-17, officially listed as lost in 2142. The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Sigma-17 had been part of humanity's first wave of military expansion, established during the early days of faster-than-light travel. Its loss, along with all hands aboard, had been a crushing blow to Earth's Space Force. "Commander Chen," Admiral Zhang spoke, his holographic projection flickering slightly, "you will lead the investigation. Take the ESS Hyperion and a full complement of Marines. Find out what happened to our people." 3 weeks later, the Hyperion dropped out of FTL on the edges of the Carina Nebula. Commander Chen stood on the bridge, watching as the ship's sensors painted a picture of the surrounding space. The outpost's signal was stronger now, broadcasting from a small rocky planet orbiting a red dwarf star. Multiple artificial structures detected on the surface, Lieutenant Rivera reported from her station. "The outpost appears largely intact, but there's something else." She paused, adjusting her instruments. "We're detecting several non-human vessels in orbit. They're trying to hide in the planet's magnetic field, but our new quantum sensors can see them." Chen's expression remained neutral, but her mind raced with possibilities. How long have they been there? Based on their engine signatures, months, maybe years. They're watching the outpost. The revelation added a new layer of complexity to their mission. Not only had they found a lost piece of human history, but alien species had been studying it, perhaps trying to understand human military capabilities. "Take us in," Chen ordered, "but stay alert. We don't know if they're friendly observers or potential hostiles." As the Hyperion descended through the planet's atmosphere, the true scale of the outpost became clear. It wasn't just a simple military installation. It was a fortress. Massive defense towers rose from the rocky terrain, their weapon systems dormant but intact. Hardened bunkers and hangars dotted the landscape, designed to withstand orbital bombardment. The landing party, led by Chen herself, touched down near the main entrance. The air was thin but breathable, the gravity slightly stronger than Earth normal. Chen approached the sealed doors, her team scanning for any signs of danger. "Look at this," Security Chief Patel called out, pointing to marks on the door's surface. "These aren't from weather or time. Something, or someone, has tried to breach this entrance. Recently." Chen examined the marks. They were precise, methodical, the work of advanced tools attempting to bypass human military engineering. "Our observers have been doing more than just watching," she noted grimly. The team used their emergency override codes, and to their surprise, the ancient systems responded. The massive doors groaned open for the first time in over a century, revealing a dark corridor beyond. Emergency lights flickered to life, powered by systems designed to last for generations. As they moved deeper into the facility, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, not just by the alien vessels in orbit, but by something else. The outpost's systems were coming back online, responding to their presence in ways that suggested more than simple automation. "Commander," Lieutenant Rivera's voice crackled over the comm. The alien vessels are moving. They're taking up defensive positions around the planet. Chen understood the implications. Whatever secrets this outpost held, whatever happened to its original crew, their discovery had just triggered something significant. The aliens' reaction suggested they feared what might happen if humans reclaimed this lost piece of their military heritage. "All teams, stay alert," Chen ordered. "We're not alone here, and I have a feeling we're about to find out why this place was considered worth watching for so long." The Awakening. Deep within Outpost Sigma-17, Commander Chen's team made their way through the eerily well-preserved corridors. The facility's automated systems continued to activate around them, each new section coming to life as if awakening from a long slumber. "This doesn't make sense," Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their technical specialist, muttered as she studied her readings. "These systems shouldn't be functioning at this level after a century of abandonment. Someone, or something, has been maintaining them." The team reached the outpost's central command center, a massive chamber filled with dormant holographic displays and control stations. As Chen approached the main console, the entire room hummed to life, displays flickering with data streams in ancient military code. "Welcome, Earth Defense Force personnel," a synthesized voice echoed through the chamber. "This is HFY, Advanced Research Intelligence Assistant. Primary systems restored to operational status." Chen exchanged glances with her team. AI systems of this era were supposed to be primitive by modern standards, yet ARIA's voice carried unusual complexity and awareness. "ARIA," Chen addressed the AI. "What happened to the original crew of Sigma-17?" The AI was silent for a moment before responding. "That information is classified under Protocol Omega. Please provide command authorization for full historical access." Chen input her credentials, and the chamber's main display came alive with footage from the outpost's final active days. The images showed a desperate battle, Earth forces defending against an overwhelming alien fleet. But instead of destruction, the footage revealed something extraordinary. "The Syndicate fleet thought they had us cornered," Ariad explained, showing the massive alien armada surrounding the outpost. "Colonel Raman knew we couldn't hold them off forever, so she initiated Project Phoenix." The footage showed the outpost's crew engaging in a carefully choreographed operation. They weren't evacuating. They were transforming the entire facility. Advanced technology, far beyond what Earth possessed at the time, activated throughout the base. Project Phoenix was decades ahead of its time. ARIA continued. The outpost wasn't just a military installation. It was a testing ground for experimental quantum engineering. Colonel Raman and her team used it to place the entire facility in a temporal stasis field. To the outside world, it appeared destroyed. In reality, it was waiting. Waiting for what? Chen asked, though she suspected she already knew the answer. "For humanity to advance enough to reclaim it," Ariya replied. "Your presence here indicates that time has come." Above the planet, the situation was deteriorating. The Hyperion sensors detected more alien vessels arriving in system, ships bearing the marking of the same syndicate that had tried to destroy the outpost a century ago. "Commander," Lieutenant Rivera's voice crackled through the comm. "We're being hailed by the alien fleet. They're demanding we withdraw immediately. They're claiming this is their sovereign territory." Chen studied the historical footage, understanding dawning in her eyes. The Syndicate didn't want to destroy this outpost. They wanted to capture it. They knew what humanity was developing here. "Correct," Ariya confirmed. Project Phoenix was part of a larger initiative. The quantum technology being developed here could revolutionize space warfare. The Syndicate feared what would happen if humanity mastered it. As if responding to their conversation, more of the outpost systems began activating. Hidden panels slid open, revealing weapons platforms and defense systems far more advanced than anything in the historical records. "Warning," Ariya announced. "Syndicate vessels are powering weapons systems. Their energy signatures match historical patterns indicating hostile intent." Chen made a quick decision. "Ariya, Can you bring the Outpost's defensive systems online? Affirmative. But full activation requires authorization from a ranking Earth Defense Force officer. Then let's wake this place up, Chen declared, placing her hand on the command console. Authorization. Commander Sarah Chen, Earth Defense Force, Security Code Alpha 709. The entire facility shuddered as ancient machinery roared to life. Outside, massive defense towers emerged from hidden bunkers, their quantum-based weapons systems charging with energy that made the air itself crackle. In orbit, the Syndicate fleet reacted with obvious alarm. Their ships began taking up attack positions, but they moved with hesitation, clearly uncertain about the capabilities of the now awakening human fortress. "Commander," Dr. Tanaka called out, her eyes wide as she studied the technical readouts. "These systems, they're not just ahead of their time. They're using principles we've only theorized about. Quantum tunneling arrays, temporal shields, matter reorganization fields. This isn't just a military outpost. It's a technological goldmine." Chen watched as more historical data flooded the screens. Colonel Raman and her team hadn't just hidden the outpost. They'd continued their research during the century in temporal stasis, making breakthroughs that could revolutionize human civilization. RIA, what's the status of Project Phoenix's research data? All data preserved and updated. Colonel Raman's team used the temporal stasis field to conduct centuries of research in what appeared to the outside world as moments. They solved problems humanity is only now beginning to understand. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just about reclaiming a lost outpost. It was about leapfrogging human technological development by decades, maybe centuries. "Commander," Rivera's voice came through again, more urgent now. "The Syndicate fleet is demanding we surrender the facility. They're claiming it contains dangerous technology that could destabilize the entire sector. They're threatening military action if we don't comply." Chen looked at the worried faces of her team, then at the remarkable technology surrounding them. Technology that could change everything for humanity. RIA, what would Colonel Raman do in this situation? The A's response was immediate. Colonel Raman left specific instructions for this scenario. Humanity must not repeat the mistakes of the past. Power without wisdom leads to destruction, but wisdom wielded with strength can forge a better future. Chen nodded, understanding the weight of the decision before her. The Outpost's awakening had just triggered a crisis that could lead to either war or a new era of human advancement. The next few hours would determine which path they would take. The legacy. The command center of Outpost Sigma-17 buzzed with activity as Commander Chen and her team raced to understand the full scope of their discovery. RIA's holographic interface displayed countless research files and technical specifications, each more revolutionary than the last. "The temporal research archives are now fully accessible," RIA announced. Beginning playback of Colonel Raman's final log entry. A hologram materialized in the center of the room. A woman in an old-style Earth Defense Force uniform, her face bearing the weight of command, but her eyes bright with purpose. Colonel Amira Raman, the last commander of Sigma-17, looked directly at them across the century that separated them. "To whoever has awakened this facility, I hope you are ready for what comes next." Raman's image began. "What you've discovered isn't just a military outpost, it's humanity's insurance policy. We knew that Earth would face threats it wasn't prepared for. The Syndicate was just the beginning." The hologram gestured, and the room filled with images of various alien species and civilizations, many unknown to modern Earth. "We discovered something that terrified the Syndicate and other advanced races. Humanity has a unique capacity for innovation, for pushing boundaries that others fear to approach. The quantum research we conducted here proved that human minds could comprehend and manipulate reality in ways that alien sciences had deemed impossible." Technical diagrams appeared, showing devices and theories that made even Dr. Tanaka gasp in amazement. The quantum fold drive, temporal shielding, consciousness transfer matrices, these weren't just theoretical. We built them, tested them, perfected them. But we also understood the responsibility they carried. Commander, Lieutenant Rivera's voice cut in urgently. The Syndicate fleet is launching fighters. They're conducting attack formation maneuvers. Chen watched as Ramen's hologram continued, her words taking on new significance. The Syndicate didn't attack us because they feared our weapons. They attacked because they feared our potential, our ability to change the rules of what they thought was possible. Dr. Tanaka called out from her station. Commander, I'm seeing references to something called Project Descendant in the research files. It seems to be the culmination of everything they were working on here. Ramen's hologram smiled, as if anticipating their discovery. Project Descendant was our masterpiece. The quantum technology we developed wasn't just about weapons or defenses. It was about evolution, pushing humanity to its next stage of development. We discovered that human consciousness could interface with quantum systems in ways that alien minds couldn't process. We could literally think in quantum terms. The implications hit Chen like a physical force. That's why the Outpost systems responded to us so readily. They're not just automated, they're designed to interface directly with human thought patterns. Correct, Araya confirmed. The entire facility is a quantum neural network designed to amplify human cognitive capabilities and translate them into real-world effects. Outside, the Syndicate fighters were taking up attack positions. Their energy signatures suggested weapons far more advanced than what historical records indicated they possessed a century ago. They'd been preparing for this moment too. They'd been studying this place for 100 years, Security Chief Patel realized. Trying to understand our technology, figure out how to counter it. Ramen's hologram continued its message. We knew they would never stop trying to claim this facility. That's why we built in safeguards that only human minds could activate. The quantum neural interface requires a specific type of consciousness, one shaped by human evolution and experience. Commander, Rivera's voice was tense. They're powering up their main weapons. We have multiple targeting locks. Chen looked at her team, then back at Ramen's hologram. Araya, can you activate the quantum neural interface? Affirmative. But it requires a human operator willing to fully connect with the system. The neural load is significant. Ramen's image seemed to look directly at Chen. Whoever you are, you now face the same choice we did. This technology could give humanity an unassailable advantage in the galaxy. But power without wisdom becomes tyranny. We didn't build this facility to dominate. We built it to protect and advance. Use it wisely. The hologram faded, leaving Chen with a moment of clarity. The Syndicate's fear wasn't just about military technology. It was about humanity itself. They feared what humans might become once they fully understood their own potential. Araya, prepare the quantum neural interface. I'm taking control of the facility. Dr. Tanaka stepped forward, concern evident on her face. Commander, the neural load could be dangerous. We don't know what connecting your consciousness to quantum systems might do. Chen smiled grimly. Colonel Ramen and her team spent a century in temporal stasis preparing humanity for this moment. We're not going to waste their sacrifice. As she moved toward the neural interface chamber, Chen could feel the weight of history pressing down on her. The legacy of Sigma-17 was about to be fulfilled, one way or another. The question was whether humanity was truly ready for what that legacy would bring. The confrontation. The neural interface chamber hummed with energy as Commander Chen settled into the control seat. Crystalline structures emerged from hidden panels, surrounding her in a cocoon of advanced technology that bridged the gap between human consciousness and quantum reality. Neural interface initialization beginning, Araya announced. Commander, your mind will be linked directly to the Outpost's quantum defense grid. The experience may be disorienting. The first connection felt like lightning through her synapses. Chen's consciousness expanded, merging with the facility's systems. She could feel every defense tower, every shield generator, every quantum particle that made up Sigma-17's incredible defenses. More than that, She could sense the syndicate ships above, their energy patterns becoming clear patterns in her enhanced awareness. Multiple hostile craft approaching. Lieutenant Rivera's voice seemed to come from both her comm and directly into her thoughts. They're launching their first wave of attacks. Through her quantum-enhanced senses, Chen could see the incoming fire in ways normal human perception couldn't process. Time seemed to flow differently as she engaged the facility's defenses. Temporal shields snapped into place microseconds before impact, the enemy weapons dispersing harmlessly against barriers that existed partially outside normal spacetime. Remarkable. Dr. Tanaka's voice carried pure awe as she monitored the systems. The quantum neural interface is allowing the commander to react at speeds that should be impossible. She's processing information faster than our most advanced AI systems. The Syndicate fleet responded by launching a more coordinated assault. Their ships moved in complex patterns, clearly designed to overwhelm traditional defense systems. But Chen wasn't using traditional systems. Through the quantum interface, she could predict their movements before they made them, understanding their attack patterns at a fundamental level. They're using attack formations based on their studies of this facility. Chen communicated, her voice carrying an otherworldly resonance. But they don't understand what they're really facing. With a thought, she activated the Outpost's countermeasures. Quantum tunneling arrays created localized space-time distortions, causing enemy weapons to miss their targets by appearing to fire from positions they no longer occupied. Temporal shields not only blocked attacks but reflected them back at the attackers, using their own energy against them. The Syndicate fleet faltered, clearly unprepared for the level of resistance they encountered. Their century of study hadn't prepared them for facing the facility at its full potential, guided by a human mind that could truly comprehend and control its capabilities. Commander, Araya's voice carried an urgent tone. Additional Syndicate vessels entering the system. They appear to be carrying quantum disruption weapons, technology they've developed specifically to counter this facility's defenses. Chen processed this information through her enhanced consciousness. She could see the new threats emerging from FTL, their weapons representing a dark reflection of Sigma-17's technology. The Syndicate had spent 100 years not just studying the Outpost, but developing ways to destroy it. They're not just afraid of what we have, Chen realized, the quantum interface allowing her to perceive the deeper patterns. They're afraid of what we represent, the potential for humanity to surpass them. Through the neural link, she accessed more of Colonel Raman's research. The quantum technology wasn't just about defense or warfare, it was about transcendence. Human consciousness, interfaced with quantum systems, could achieve things that the Syndicate had deemed impossible. Multiple quantum disruption beams charging, Rivera reported. Their energy signatures are like nothing we've ever seen. Chen felt a moment of clarity through the quantum interface. No, they're exactly like something we've seen. Araya, Access Project Ascendant protocols. Colonel Raman left us more than just weapons. The facility's systems responded to her enhanced consciousness, revealing layers of technology that had remained hidden until this moment. Project Ascendant wasn't just about defending against attacks, it was about transforming them, about understanding reality at a level that transcended traditional concepts of warfare. As the Syndicate ships fired their disruption beams, Chen engaged Project Ascendant's core systems. The quantum neural interface expanded her consciousness further, allowing her to see not just the attacks coming toward them, but the fundamental nature of reality itself. The Syndicate thinks they've learned to manipulate quantum mechanics, she communicated to her awestruck team. But they're still thinking in linear terms. Human consciousness can do so much more. With that understanding, she didn't just deflect the disruption beams, she transformed them. The quantum neural interface allowed her to reach into the very fabric of space-time, turning the Syndicate's weapons into catalysts for something entirely new. The skies above Sigma-17 erupted with impossible light, as reality itself seemed to bend and flex. The Syndicate fleet found their own weapons creating patterns of energy they couldn't comprehend, let alone control. Their carefully planned attack dissolved into chaos as human consciousness, enhanced by quantum technology, rewrote the rules of engagement. "My God," Dr. Tanaka whispered, watching her instruments try to make sense of what was happening. "She's not just defending against their attacks. She's showing them why they were right to be afraid." The resolution. Through the quantum neural interface, Commander Chen perceived the Syndicate fleet's confusion and fear as their own weapons were transformed into manifestations of human potential. The sky above Sigma-17 danced with energies that defied conventional physics, creating a display that was both beautiful and terrifying. "Syndicate vessels are breaking formation," Lieutenant Rivera reported, her voice filled with amazement. They're retreating." But Chen, her consciousness still merged with the facility's quantum systems, could see beyond the immediate tactical situation. "No," she communicated, her voice resonating with newfound understanding. "They're not retreating. They're regrouping for something else." As if confirming her words, a new signal cut through the chaos, a transmission from the Syndicate flagship, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Human facility." A deep, harmonious voice echoed through the command center. "I am High Commander Zoxtel of the Syndicate Collective. We request dialogue." Dr. Tanaka looked up from her instruments. "Commander, what just happened? Why would they suddenly want to talk?" Through the quantum interface, Chen could perceive the subtle shifts in the Syndicate's energy patterns, because they finally understand what Colonel Raman discovered a century ago. Area prepare to receive their representatives. It's time they learned the true purpose of Sigma-17. The neural interface gently disengaged, leaving Chen with lingering echoes of quantum awareness as she stood from the control chair. Her mind felt expanded, forever changed by the experience of merging with the facility systems. Hours later, in Sigma-17's newly activated diplomatic chamber, Chen faced High Commander Zoxtel, a tall, ethereal being whose crystalline form seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. The contrast between their species couldn't have been more stark, yet Chen sensed a profound connection forming. For a century, Zoxtel began, their voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate with the room itself. "We believe this facility represented the greatest threat to galactic stability. We were wrong. It represents the greatest opportunity." Chen nodded, still feeling traces of quantum awareness, enhancing her perception. Colonel Raman and her team didn't build this place to wage war. They built it to prove what humanity could become, and to show others what was possible. "Yes," Zoxtal agreed, their form rippling with what Chen recognized as excitement. "Your species' ability to interface directly with quantum systems, to think in ways that transcend conventional physics, it's unprecedented. We feared it because we didn't understand it. Now we see it for what it is. Evolution." The chamber's holographic displays activated, showing the full scope of Project Ascendant. Not just quantum weapons and defenses, but technologies that could reshape worlds, heal environmental damage, and bridge the gaps between different forms of consciousness. "Colonel Raman left us more than just advanced technology," Chen explained. "She left us a vision of what could be achieved when different species work together, each contributing their unique perspectives and abilities." Zoxtel's crystalline form seemed to brighten. "The Syndicate Collective has spent millennia advancing through careful, methodical steps. Your species thinks in quantum leaps. Together, we could achieve things neither of us could manage alone," Chen finished. The next few hours were spent in deep discussion, laying the groundwork for a new kind of alliance. The Syndicate would contribute their vast knowledge and resources, while humanity would share their unique insights and capabilities. Sigma-17 would be transformed from a hidden fortress into a center of collaborative research and development. As the diplomatic talks concluded, Chen stood with her team watching the Syndicate ships reposition themselves, no longer in attack formation, but in a defensive screen protecting the facility they had sought to destroy just hours before. "Commander," Dr. Tanaka asked, still processing everything that had happened, "do you think this is what Colonel Raman intended all along?" not just advancing human technology, but forcing different species to recognize the value of working together. Chen smiled, touching the neural interface control on her wrist, feeling the subtle quantum connections that now linked her permanently to both human and alien understanding. Raman and her team spent a century in temporal stasis, not just developing technology, but developing wisdom. They knew that humanity's greatest strength isn't our ability to fight. It's our ability to imagine and create things that others think impossible. And now, Lieutenant Rivera asked, watching as syndicate and human technical teams began working together to unlock more of the facility's secrets. Now we do what humans do best, Chen replied. We take what seems impossible, and we make it real, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Above them, the quantum shields of Sigma-17 pulsed with new energy patterns, no longer just defensive barriers, but bridges between different forms of consciousness and understanding. The lost colony had been found, but more importantly, it had helped humanity find its true place in the galaxy. In the end, Colonel Raman's legacy wasn't just the advanced technology she'd left behind. It was the proof that humanity's greatest power wasn't in the weapons we could build or the defenses we could create, but in our ability to transform fear into understanding and conflict into cooperation. The forgotten colony had become a beacon of hope, not just for humanity, but for all species ready to imagine a future that transcended their limitations. And in that transformation, humanity had proven once again why we were capable of achievements that others could only dream of.